decision, Chris Prime Time Colbert.
So even with the knockdown, Chris Colbert gets the win. This is a very upset MGM Grand Garden crowd.
That was put it this way. I'm not going to call it a robbery, but it was definitely a bad decision. Me personally.
These guys having some work. Look, that's on the back. You lost. You didn't. You lost. You know you lost. Put the medals around my neck. These guys having some work. Look, you only dropped me. You caught a little drop me. And that's it. I got up like a dog. You're a sore loser. You lost. You lost. You're a sore loser. You suck ass nigga. Fuck you. Sore loser. Look.
So, personally, I had Rayo winning. This was a very important fight for both of these fighters. In my personal opinion, more important for Chris Colbert to get the win after being brutally dropped in the very first round. I'm talking about like he was stuck. Here, let me get you the replay, but obviously I can't show too much because Showtime would be tripping. But he got caught.
He's moving up to 135. That power will be...
And it was ugly. Now, the judges scored it 95-94 on all three judges' scorecards. It was a 10-round fight. My personal opinion is that Rayo let him off the hook later on in the fight. He gave away a lot of the last rounds. And Chris Colbert has a lot of experience going late into fights, 17-1 with 6 KOs. This is by far... I don't want to say by far, but you can say this is the biggest win of his career since Jezreel Corrales. Now, he needed this win because he was completely outclassed and dominated by Hector Luis Garcia, who eventually went on to get Tank Davis in pay-per-view. This is a rematch that I want to see. By the way, he ain't no 5'8". This is a rematch that I definitely want to see between him and Rayo, but this is more growing pains for Rayo. I keep saying his name different ways. It's more growing pains for him. But this is a fight that he should have won, and he did acknowledge it in the post-fight interview, is that this is one of the type of fights where you can't let your opponent off of the hook. In fact, let's go listen to his post-fight interview. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. I am TstreeTCONTROVERSY with Fight View 360.
Obviously, Jose, the fans feel as though you won the fight.
I beat him, man. I beat him fair and square, man. I beat him, bro. I beat him. Who you think won?
I ask questions. I ask the questions. We'll let the fans speak for themselves and the judges speak.
Thank everybody who came out here and supported me, this beautiful crowd, man. I did what I could, man. I felt like I won. I landed the hardest shots. I landed the body shots. I landed all the shots. I dropped them. I dominated. But, you know, it is what it is. I guess this boxing.
Here's round one. Can you tell us from your vantage point as we take a look at the monitor what happened here when you caught him?
He overextended. I turned around and threw a sharper left hook. He ain't hurt me ever once in this fight. Hey, I hurt him most of the rounds, man. I did what I wanted in there. I was having fun. I enjoyed every minute of that, man. He ain't win, man. I won.
Did you think you'd be able to put him away in that round after that?
I definitely could have, man. You know, I was having fun in there. I wanted to show the world what I could do. I can box. I can move around. I have defense. I was having fun, man. But this is what happens when you don't get him out of there, man.
And Jose, you hurt his eyes both times, both his left eye and his right eye. Could you feel as though he was impaired from the damage you inflicted?
Yeah, man, I feel like I put it on him, bro. I put it on right, and not once felt threatened in there. I was having fun. I let him, you know, how to do his thing, but, man, I was in full control the whole time.
Rematch?
Definitely, man, but come on.
I understand your disappointment. You asked me a question. I do understand your disappointment.
They got to be fair and square, man. I went through a lot, man. I went 4 months hard. You know, it was tough, man, and to come out like this, man, this sucks.
To answer your question, it's a terrible decision.
Thank you. Thank you. I respect you.
All right. Back to you, Maura.
And, you know, it was a bad decision. I don't like throwing the term robbery around too much, but in this case, the wrong man won tonight. Now, it was a close fight, but it should have went the other way, especially the second half, you know, of the fight, or, you know, the latter half of the fight, the last 4 rounds. You know, Rayo was letting a lot of rounds out of the bag. And Chris Colbert, after a while, started walking him down and using a jab. And I still think that Chris Colbert is overall the better boxer. You know, he may not have the power, but he definitely shown he's got the toughness. You know, he answered a lot of questions. Dude can fight, but in a rematch, it will be interesting to see how it would go, especially if Chris Colbert, you know, put it this way. I like to say this, you know, when it comes to rematches, who do you think would be able to better adjust in a rematch? Personally, I would probably think Colbert, especially if you don't get dropped, you know? But also Rayo, if he comes out, you know, and not let him off the hook and pressure him, I don't know. It's tough. But in this day and age of boxing, you know, it's hard to think or that we would get a rematch anytime soon, especially with both of these fighters fighting each other, with both of them coming off of a loss, you know? So I think that both of these fighters, especially for Rayo, he can't afford another loss, whether it was a robbery or not. They're probably going to really dial him back and build him back up. And I guess you can say the same for Chris Colbert, who already said he was going to be moving back down to 130 pounds. He took this fight at 135 because he wanted a tough fight. And, you know, he's going to be going back down to 130. It's going to be interesting to see who both of these guys fight. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. On my way to the next fight that I'm looking forward to, Jesus Ramos versus Joey Spencer. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at TstreeTCONTROVERSY.